Hi, I'm Harry from Mode Lighting, and in this video we're going to cover the basic steps required for installing an eDIN Plus power panel.
An eDIN power panel has a three-phase supply, phase 1, 2, 3, a neutral connection and an earth connection. On a single phase supply, that can be one in and looped, or 3 separate cables back to the disk board. Your mains outgoings, your live connections are here, and then you have common neutrals. The breakers are fed from the bottom, with the live feeds coming out through the top, up through the dimming cards, and back down to the bottom of the board for the outputs. We have emergency feeds per phase, connected to the end breakers on each phase. The panel is split into 3 sections. We have a power supply board on the left, our dimming or switching cards in the centre, and our processor board on the right hand side. On the power supply board we have 3 fuses, neon power indicators, and 2 LEDs, one for power output and the other one for phase issues. On the digital dimming cards with the dip switches, the top 3 dip switches are for setting alarm mode, and the next 3 dip switches are for setting switched mode. Dip switch 7 is blank, and dip switch 8 puts the card into override mode. On the digital relay cards, the top 3 dip switches are for setting alarm mode. Dip switch 4 and 5 have no operation. Dip switch 6 does channel 1 override. Dip switch 7 does override for channel 2. And finally dip switch 8 does override for channel 3. On the 2-channel analog card, the top 2 jumper links are for alarm mode. Factory default is the circuits will come on as alarm mode is set. The bottom 2 jumper links are for setting switched or dim mode per channel. The top jumper link is for channel 1 and the bottom one for channel 2. To set a channel into switch mode, move the jumper from the rear position to the front. Lastly, the switch at the back in the down position will be test mode. There is a preheat. If you find your LEDs are not turning off, you may have to adjust this small increments anti-clockwise. On the 3-channel digital cards, there will be 3 red LED indicators, jumper links for the alarm mode, and the jumper links for the switched or dim mode. Again, to change the channels from dim to switched, we remove the jumper link from the back 2 pins and bring it to the front 2 pins. Channel 1, Channel 2, and Channel 3. On the 36 channel, we have 6 LEDs labelled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Below we have 8 dip switches. The top 6 set the alarm mode. 7 is not used, and 8 puts the card into override mode. On the processor, we have DMX in terminals, then DMX through terminals. We have a dip switch for terminating DMX end of line. The next terminals down are for alarm mode. The next 4 terminals are your M bus in, A, B, C and D. And the next set down are your through connections, again A, B, C and D for M-bus. Underneath these terminals we have a dip switch for setting an end-of-line resistor for the M-bus if needed. On and off. Now we're looking at the processor as the system boots up for the first time. Once it boots, it should say it's in installer mode. This means that it's on address 000, and if there is any keypads on the same address, they will be able to control the system straight away in some default levels. You may want to, at this point, set the pack into override mode so all the circuits are fully on. Press the middle button so it says setup, the middle button and go down to override. Press the tick button once more, it will say all. Press it again, it will say none. Press the middle button, it will say on. And then press the tick button to set it so the power is fully on. It will then say override active. When you're ready to come out of installer mode, you can set the address. Press the tick button, it will say setup. Press it again, it will say address. Press it once more, and then the digits will start to come up. As you press through, you can then set the address number. And then finally, once you're done, you can then press the tick button once more, and it will say sure. And then you can press the tick button and it will say no. But if you go down to the middle button and hit yes and tick, it will then set the address for whatever you need. And you'll be out of installer mode.
Okay, so we covered what's needed to know for installing the lighting panel. If you found this information useful, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop us a comment or get in contact with us. The details are in the description below.